Today I'm going to play the entire career of Dillon Gabriel, all the way from his senior season with Oregon to the NFL, all the way to the day he retires and calls it quits. I think Dillon Gabriel is going to be an absolute steal and not talked about enough in this next upcoming draft, but now it's time for us to see if Madden feels the exact same way. Dillon Gabriel starts his sim off as a 93 overall redshirt senior quarterback here at Oregon. And the kid is absolutely balled out at every school he was at. Starting off at UCF, then he went to Oklahoma. Now he ended up here at Oregon. He also starts off his senior season as a Heisman hopeful. Just like IRL, Dillon has the Ducks off to a great start, 12-0 heading into the conference championship week. And Dillon Gabriel and the Ducks get it done here in the Big Ten championship, 34-31 over the Ohio State Buckeyes, and they're going to the college football playoff undefeated. Even though the Ducks knocked off the Buckeyes in the conference championship game, Will Howard, the quarterback of the Buckeyes, still wins the Heisman. Heading into the college football playoff, Dillon Gabriel, 4,100 yards, 42 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions. He gave you another 2 touchdowns on the ground, and Evan Stewart was his favorite target, 75 catches, 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns. How does that stat line not give you the Heisman over what Will Howard did? I don't know. He only had 27 touchdowns and like 3,500 yards, but it is what it is. Dillon Gabriel does win Player of the Year though. He also wins Best Quarterback. He also wins the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Neither Dillon Gabriel or Will Howard make first or second team All-American, but Dillon Gabriel does get second team All-Conference at quarterback. Doesn't really make sense to me, but even though he didn't win the Heisman, I still feel like it was clear he had the better year and he got even more accolades. Taking a look at the college football playoff bracket, the Oregon Ducks are the #1 overall seed, just like they are IRL. They'll be playing the winner of Washington and Oklahoma State, and they're going to be playing a former Pac-12 rival in Washington in the Rose Bowl. And here in the quarterfinals, the Oregon Ducks get the job done, 33-21. Dillon Gabriel and the Ducks are moving on to the Final Four. In this game, Dillon Gabriel didn't play the greatest, 24 for 40, 346 yards, 60% completion percentage, only 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. And through the air, he found Jurian Dickey a lot, 5 for 144 and a touchdown. But if you ask me, it sounds like he owes his defense a big old gift out of that NIL money. This is going to be the 3rd time that the Ducks and the Buckeyes square off early in the season, Big Ten championship, now here again in the Orange Bowl of the semifinals. So 3rd time is not the charm here for Ohio State. All 3 of their losses this season are against the Oregon Ducks. Dillon Gabriel, 18 for 28, 206, 64% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. On the ground, looks like he got abused. Through the air, his top target was Trayshawn Holden. And the natty is actually going to be what I predict is going to be IRL. The Oregon Ducks taking on the Georgia Bulldogs, and I think the Oregon Ducks are going to win by 14 IRL. So shit gets ugly here for UGA, and Dillon Gabriel gets it done. The first ever 16-0 season in college football, 41-17. Take a look here, they lifted the trophy. Dillon Gabriel, I'm assuming, is going to be the player of the game as well. 63% completion percentage, 283 yards, 2 touchdowns. When it's all said and done and we truly put a pin into his senior season, nearly 5,000 yards passing, 48 touchdowns, only 9 picks. On the ground, 73 for 297 and 2 touchdowns. And through the air, he had 2,000-yard receivers. Evan Stewart, 87 for 1,620 touchdowns. Trayshawn Holden, 78 for 1,108 touchdowns. Time to move on to the draft and to see if Dillon Gabriel can sneak into the first round. As of right now, Dillon Gabriel is projected to go on day 3. He's ranked 147 out of all prospects in the first round of the draft. And it looks like the Cleveland Browns are going to get their guy. They take Dillon Gabriel early in the first round, believing that they have their next quarterback of the future. So day 1, Dillon Gabriel comes in as the best quarterback on the roster over Deshaun Watson and DTR. He comes in with a hidden dev trait, 88 throw power, 85 deep accuracy, 82 medium, 83 short, 80 awareness, 80 throw on the run, 88 play action, 76 under pressure. Additionally, he has 82 speed, 88 excel, 97 stamina, 94 injury, so he should be on the field a lot. So in the inaugural season of Dillon Gabriel's NFL career, not too shabby, 8-9, finishing 3rd in the division. Granted, the Bengals and the Ravens were way ahead of them, but finishing 1 game under 500, not bad. So Dillon Gabriel's rookie year, a lot of highs and lows, things we're going to be used to seeing, but he throws for 3,400 yards, 19 touchdowns, 14 picks, with a 66% completion percentage. On the ground, gave us 60 for 218 and a touchdown. Nick Chubb ran for 1,000. And through the air, Amari Rodgers, 67 for 857, 7 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy, 66 for 846, but he couldn't find the end zone. Cedric Tillman, 75 for 812, 5 touchdowns. Dillon Gabriel finished his 2nd to Colston Loveland for Offensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC. And I think Dillon is in the right place. I just feel like they got to put some more weapons around him. So coming into season number 2, Gabriel's up to a 79 overall. It's revealed that he's got star dev trait. The receiving core is looking good this year also. Jerry Jeudy's actually getting better again. He's an 85. We got John Mechie. The squad squad picked up a wide receiver in the draft, Tyquan Fowler. We have an aging McCall Harmon, as well as an aging Tyler Lockett. Season number 2, we do improve. We get 1 game better, 9-8, and we just lost the tiebreaker to the Ravens on making the playoffs. Dillon Gabriel elevates his game a little bit, 4,100 yards. 24 touchdowns, 16 picks. Still got to get those down a little bit. 66% completion percentage. We keep that the same. QBR, would love to see that over 100. Average 242 yards a game. On the ground, 70 for 258, 1 touchdown. Nick Chubb had 19 touchdowns on the ground for us. Jerry Jeudy, 76 for 1,100, 5 touchdowns. John Mechie, 78 for 1,000, 6 touchdowns. David Njoku has a much better year with 4 touchdowns. Cedric Tillman has 6 touchdowns. Fowler had 2 of his own. So here in season number 3, we're at 82 overall. Dev trait doesn't go up at all. Nick Chubb is getting horrible. I mean, he's old. He's a running back. You know how regression is going to go. O-line isn't terrible. Could be better. We got a hidden dev trait at right tackle. Right guard is good. Left tackle is an 80. They drafted him the same time they drafted Dillon Gabriel. David Njoku still a 92. Hopefully we can come out here and actually make the playoffs this season. We have our first look at regression, 5-12. Dillon Gabriel's yards go down a little bit, almost 3,700. 30 touchdowns though, 15 picks. He's been throwing a lot of those. Completion percentage goes down, so does his yards per game and even his QBR. The running game was spread up amongst a whole bunch of people. Pretty bad. Dillon Gabriel had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Through the air, John Mechie only had 48 catches, but he had 846 yards with 14 touchdowns. That's a crazy ratio. What a season for him. David Njoku, 76 for 770, 4 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns for Jeudy, 4 touchdowns for Demario Davis. Season 4, the team doesn't change that much, but shout out to Jerry Jeudy. He's still getting better. Our right tackle ends up being star dev. Taylor goes down to normal dev now. Rutledge is up to an 81. Demario Davis is our 2 receiver. Fowler's still here. Chubb is no longer with us. We got Ford and we got a pretty decent fullback. All right, boys. So after a serious regression season, they completely flip a 180 on their record. 5-12 last year, 12-5 this year. Second in the division, making the playoffs. Dillon Gabriel has his best season to date. 4th in the league in passing yards, 2nd in passing touchdowns, and he finally has single-digit picks throughout a year. 4,400 yards, 45 touchdowns, only 7 picks. Completion percentage way up from 62 last year, 70%. 260 a game, 114 QBR. Shout out to JT Ford, who we brought in to be a running back. He runs for 722, 6 touchdowns. Dillon Gabriel gave you another 4 on the ground. And through the air, we almost have 3,000-yard receivers. Demario Davis, 85 catches, 1038 yards, 10 touchdowns. Tyquan Fowler, 85 catches as well, 1,012 yards, 13 touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy, 75 catches, 996 yards, 13 touchdowns. David Njoku, 63 for 685, 5 touchdowns. Dillon Gabriel finishes 2nd in MVP voting behind Pat Mahomes. But Mahomes nor Gabriel are Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC. That goes to Ladd McConkey. And as you could guess, Pat Mahomes wins AFC Quarterback of the Year. All right, boys, it is time to see if Dillon Gabriel can get his first playoff win. Dillon Gabriel gets it done. It wasn't pretty, but what was interesting about this game is the Titans actually drafted Shedeur Sanders. So this was a Dillon Gabriel versus Shedeur Sanders playoff game, man. Take a look at the head-to-head. Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel pretty much played identical games. The main difference was Shedeur threw a pick, Dillon Gabriel did not. Mario Douglas caught the lone touchdown from Dillon Gabriel. So the MVP and the MVP runner-up get to go head-to-head in the next round of the playoffs. Future USR here. We're about to jump into this game, and I kind of forgot where I was because I recorded this video. I've been sick, but you're going to see my real raw reaction on what happened. What a play. Picked off. The defense came up huge. What the fuck? I did not see that coming. All right, boys. So Dillon Gabriel gets it done. 29-22 over the Chiefs. His defense is the reason why they won that game. They didn't score again for the rest of the game. But without that pick 6, they do not win this ball game. Oh my goodness. Now we have to face our division rival in the Baltimore Ravens to try to make it to the Super Bowl. Week 3, Dillon Gabriel and the Browns lost by 3. Week 6, Dillon Gabriel and the Browns lost by 6. Now playing them for the 3rd time this year in the conference championship is the 3rd time the charm for the Cleveland Browns. And the Browns get done. 3rd time is the charm. 20-10 here in Baltimore. The Browns are headed to the Super Bowl. Dillon Gabriel outdueled Lamar Jackson. Finally, here in what is the last game of the season between the two. Dillon Gabriel, 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, 60% completion percentage. Lamar, 75% completion percentage, just 180 yards and a touchdown. Lamar threw a pick, Gabriel did not. On the ground, Gabriel nor Lamar really made a difference. Through the air, Jerry Jeudy 5 for 80 and a touchdown, 4 for 69 and a touchdown for Fowler. And shout out to the defense, boys. The Browns shut out the Ravens in the entire second half. So another quarterback in the same class with Dillon Gabriel, Quinn Ewers actually won Offensive Player of the Year on the NFC side. But Dillon Gabriel is playing for something so much more. He is in the Super Bowl taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Let's get to it. All right, boys, here we are, Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida. You know the vibes. I didn't think we would be here after the season we had last year, but Dillon Gabriel really stepped up his play. We got a 31-24 game here, 2:15 left in this fourth quarter. Dillon Gabriel just has to pick up a couple first downs to get all 3 timeouts from the Seahawks. So he picks up 3. They use their first timeout here. David Njoku gets his 6th catch of the game. Dillon Gabriel bringing him in motion. They only bring 4. He's surveying. Pressure gets to him. He gets rid of it. That's going to be a first down for the Browns. What a day from Dillon Gabriel. 366, 4 touchdowns, no picks. This is easily the best game in the playoffs so far for Dillon Gabriel, and he reserved it for the biggest game of the year. 2:07 left here. They do still have the 2-minute warning. Dillon Gabriel is going to check it down to his running back. Make sure you stay in bounds. He does, only picking up 1. So the Seahawks used all their timeouts. They only got 1 more left. That's a 2-minute warning, essentially. If they can get a stop here, that'd be a good thing. He hands it off, and they stuff him. He only picks up 2. This is the biggest play of the game so far for Dillon Gabriel in this Browns offense. He's been playing a damn near perfect ball game, and they play it too soft, and they run it here. They're giving the ball back to the Seahawks. What a punt. What a punt. What a punt. No, they said it's a touchback. All right, boys, so it's up to see what the defense can do now. The Seahawks are driving. 20 seconds left here. They're at the 50, and it looks like the Browns defense gets the stop. Dillon Gabriel and the Cleveland Browns are champions here in season number 4. Ring them. Ring them. You love to see it. I did not see this happening, boys. I do know in Madden, the Browns usually do end up being really, really good, but they got their quarterback of the future. They took him a little early in the draft, taking him in the first round, but it paid off, and Dillon Gabriel is a Super Bowl champ, and dare I say, Super Bowl MVP. Yes, he is right there, standing up there with the commissioner and his coach, and they are going to lift the trophy. So another playoff game with one of his other draft mates, Jalen Milroe, who was in the same draft as Dillon Gabriel, was the quarterback for the Seahawks, and Dillon Gabriel easily outplayed him. Dillon Gabriel, 27 for 35, 367, 77% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Jalen Milroe didn't play bad, 70% completion percentage, but 1 touchdown, no picks. On the ground, Kenneth Walker gave him a touchdown, so did Devin Morgan. Through the air, Demario Douglas, 6 for 89, the touchdown. Jerry Jeudy had the game of his life, 6 for 82, 2 touchdowns. Saquon Fowler, who was drafted the year after Dillon Gabriel, 5 for 104 and a touchdown. So like we said, boys, Dillon Gabriel does get Super Bowl MVP. Pat Mahomes beat him out for NFL MVP, but he beat Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson to get to this point, and the Browns win their first ever Super Bowl. So season number 5, after the Super Bowl win, Dillon Gabriel is now up to a superstar dev trait, 88 overall. Throw power actually is up 1, deep accuracy is 93, medium accuracy 92, 90 short, 87 awareness, 90 throw on a run, 96 play action, 94 throw under pressure. Jerry Jeudy is starting to regress a little bit, but hey man, he's been a dog here. What we got going on at left tackle here? My man B Swift looked like he's 60, and he's only a 69 overall. Nice. Ford is getting a little bit better. Fowler's up to an 82. Demario Davis is still an 84. David Njoku's down to an 84. Offense is looking good though. No real complaints. Probably one of the better offenses we've had. Defense is like the real catalyst of what we got going on right now. So hopefully, you know, we get more weapons around our boy. Can't lie and say I didn't see this coming. We are now the last team in our division at 7-10. That Super Bowl hangover is real, but Dillon Gabriel did lead the NFL in passing yards at 49-27, 38 touchdowns, and back to double-digit picks with 14, 75% completion percentage, 290 a game, 111 QBR. So he did his damn thing. On the ground, 684, 3 touchdowns. Dillon Gabriel gave us a touchdown as well. Through the air, 4,000-yard receivers, so the offense was not an issue. 87 catches for 1183, 13 touchdowns. 88 catches for 1129, 9 touchdowns. 93 receptions for 1126, 4 touchdowns. 90 for 1050 and 8 touchdowns. Ford had 2 touchdowns out of the backfield himself. 6 offense ranked in the league. Defense was 12th. I'm really not sure why that didn't equate to wins. Dillon Gabriel finished his 10th in MVP votes just because his team wasn't good. AFC Offensive Player of the Year. we're not even in the running for it, which is crazy with the numbers that he had. And when it comes to best quarterback, he finishes 10th. That's strictly based off of wins and not off numbers, because he led the league in passing yards. All right, boys, season 6, and Dillon Gabriel is a dog. Superstar X Factor is here. 89 overall. Tyquan Fowler is now our true number 2. Jerry Jeudy, got to replace him soon. Demario Davis is down to an 83 himself. We got a star dev tight end. O'Sullivan over there at right tackle is an 82. Rutledge is an 85. He was just normal dev and he was still at 85. Collier 84. McMillan's a 77. Murray's a 79. So it seems like after every time we have a disappointing season, they come right back and do it big. 14-3, number 1 seed in the AFC, first round bye. Dillon Gabriel leads the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. 5,000 yards, 53 touchdowns, 11 picks. Can't shake those double-digit picks like that. 74% completion percentage, 297 a game, 120 QBR. On the ground, Keelan Kendricks is our guy, 753 touchdowns. Dillon Gabriel had another 4 there. Through the air, we almost have 4,000-yard receivers again. Jerry Jeudy and Demario Douglas have 102 yards apiece, 1,300 yards with 10 touchdowns for Jeudy, 1,200 yards with 15 touchdowns for Demario Douglas. Tyquan Fowler, 95 for 1,155, 12 touchdowns, and another 12 touchdowns for Chris Cody. That's not bad, having to replace David Njoku. This has got to be the year that Dillon Gabriel wins the MVP, and he does. He wins it over Joe Burrow, who is now a Patriot, and over Zach Wayne, who plays for the Saints. Offensive Player of the Year doesn't go to Dillon Gabriel. Somehow he finishes second behind Rashee Rice. But as you can imagine, he's going to get the Best Quarterback Award here in season number 6. So our last road to the Super Bowl was through the wild card. We get a little bit easier of a route here, but we do have to take on the 9-8 Tennessee Titans. And remember, the Tennessee Titans do have Shedeur Sanders. They also have another one of our draft mates in James Pierce Jr. We've already super simmed through a whole playoff run. Let's see if they can come out here and just get the job done in regular sim. And they lose 28-24. So this time Shedeur gets the dub. Dillon Gabriel still kind of outplayed him, man. 286, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Shedeur did throw for 4 touchdowns, though. Trey Tucker for the Titans killed this, man. But Jerry Jeudy continued to do Jerry Jeudy things in the playoffs. Same thing here with Demario Douglas and Chris Cody. In the end, it looks like our defense just let us down. So with us not playing in the Super Bowl this year, Dillon Gabriel officially gets his first ever Pro Bowl selection. He will be the starter for the AFC. So Dillon Gabriel pretty much stays the same as an 88 overall. He was between the 88 and 89. The O-line is still really, really good. Looks like Jerry Jeudy, we officially let him walk, but Tyquan Fowler is now the number 1 guy. We got Demario Douglas, who's still at number 2. Then we even brought in T. Higgins to be our slot man. So after the amazing 14-3 season, per usual, per the course, we regress a little bit. We go just 8-9, finish last place in the division. At this point, we just got to trust the process, but Dillon Gabriel had another amazing season. 4,600 yards, 37 touchdowns, 13 picks, 72% completion percentage, 274 yards per game, 108 QBR. On the ground, he gave you his typical between like 1 to 3 touchdowns. Through the air, 3,000-yard receivers. Per the course, T. Higgins actually came in on a 1-year loaner deal. 92 catches, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns for Fowler is the true number 1 with 1,000 yards. Chris Cody, 84, 10, 44 touchdowns, and 8 touchdowns for Demario Douglas. So season number 8, still superstar X Factor, up to an 89 overall. The O-line is looking some of the best it's ever looked. They picked up Bond in the offseason, moved Collier to center. They just picked up Morgan on a 1-year prove-it deal. They drafted Wagner, who has a hidden dev trait. Chris Cody is now up to a superstar dev trait. Allen, our backup tight end and fullback, is now a superstar X Factor. We picked up Marciano in the offseason, and they picked up James in the offseason. So there's a lot of weapons on this offense. 88 overall offense, 87 overall squad. So even with that super tough offense, we go 9-8, but we are back into the playoffs. Dillon Gabriel, 4th in the league in yards, 5th in the league in touchdowns, 7th in passer rating, almost 4,500 yards, 39 touchdowns, finally single-digit picks again with 9, 73% completion percentage, 263 a game, 114 QBR. On the ground, Gabriel gave you another 2 touchdowns, 2,000-yard receivers, nearly 3, could have really been 4. Fowler, 7 touchdowns, 87 grabs, almost 1,200 yards. James, 85 grabs, 1,100 yards, 15 touchdowns. Chris Cody, 82 for 925, 7 touchdowns. Marciano, 75 for 836, 9 touchdowns. And our wild card playoff game is going to be against the Kansas City Chiefs. Can the boys get it done in a straight up sim? So Dillon Gabriel outplayed the shit out of Pat Mahomes. 280 for 5 touchdowns, no picks. Pat, 292 for a touchdown and a pick. Through the air, Taquan Fowler, 7 for 117, a touchdown. Marciano, a touchdown. 5 different receivers caught touchdowns against the Chiefs here today. All right, boys, so here in the divisional round, Dillon Gabriel and the Browns get the job done in OT, 23-20. The Browns find themselves back in the conference championship, and Dillon Gabriel gets it done. He outplayed Josh Allen, not by much. It was a pretty good game, very low scoring. But Don Marciano, one of the best signings up until this point, 3 catches, 114 yards and a touchdown. Isaiah James, who we got in the same class, 6 for 63 and a touchdown as well. But Dillon Gabriel finds himself in Super Bowl number 2. Let's see if he can get it done once again. All right, guys, so unable to get it done. The Browns lose by 3 here versus Jordan Love and the Packers. It was a great game, but the Packers got the ball late, ran out the clock. Nothing Dillon Gabriel could do about it. Dillon Gabriel nor Jordan Love threw touchdowns in this game. Both completed passes at a high clip. Jordan Love was even forced to throw a pick. Multiple touchdowns on the ground for both teams. Take a look at the score summary here. The Cleveland Browns were shut out in the first and the third quarter. The second quarter was the best quarter for the Browns, but the Green Bay Packers kicked the last second field goal with no more time remaining on the clock. So here in season number 9, Dillon Gabriel has a big jump. He is now up to a 94 overall. Take a look at the rest of the offense. Right guard is the only position we really need work at. Chris Cody's still doing the damn thing. So is Dowling. Marciano and James are now our best 2 receivers on the team. We also brought in Foot. Running back is, doesn't really matter as much, with the way we run our offense. We don't really run the ball that much. Season 9, number 1 in the division, number 1 in the conference, 12-5. Dillon Gabriel, 4,400 yards, 37 touchdowns, just 6 picks, 72% completion percentage, 259 yards a game with a 116 QBR. On the ground, Dillon Gabriel gave us another 4 touchdowns and shot to Solomon Murray. He heard me say running the ball doesn't matter that much for us, but he runs for 800 yards. And through the air, we almost have 3,000-yard receivers. This is pretty normal for us now. Marciano, 97 catches, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. Trayvon Foot, 84 catches, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns. Chris Cody, 89 for 979, 11 touchdowns. Isaiah James has like an off year, 63 for 747, 4 touchdowns. Yearly award, Quinn Ewers actually is going to get the MVP. Dillon Gabriel finishes way down here on the list, which is crazy, having the best record in the NFL. He's going to finish 8th in the AFC Offensive Player of the Year. He's going to finish 3rd in AFC Best Quarterback of the Year. The divisional round, Dillon Gabriel gets the win versus the Dolphins, 25-24. Absolute slugfest here with Jalen Milroe, 3 touchdowns apiece, 235 plus apiece, no picks, both completing 65% plus of their passes. Solomon Murray, 16 for 69 on the ground, that's solid. Through the air, Isaiah James, 6 for 92. Marciano, 5 for 65 and a touchdown. Trayvon Foot, 3 for 38 and a touchdown. Next round game is going to be taking on the Chiefs. They beat the brakes off of the Steelers. Pat Mahomes is here in year 16, still doing the damn thing. Now, something that continues to be the story told of this sim, Dillon Gabriel regularly beats out Pat Mahomes and outplays him. Pat Mahomes, whenever he plays Dillon Gabriel, he becomes a pedestrian. Dillon Gabriel even led all rushers out here today. So Marciano, 4 for 70, Foot 4 for 67 and a touchdown. Isaiah James, 6 for 59 and a touchdown. And the Super Bowl is going to be the Browns versus the Giants. 2 of the worst teams in the NFL right now, IRL, are both number 1 seeds. So this is going to be Quinn Ewers taking on Dillon Gabriel in the Super Bowl. All right, boys, we're going to come out here and have some fun. This game is unwinnable for the Giants. Down 10, a minute 22 left, and we're gonna see just how good Dillon Gabriel is. Marciano is 96 speed, and you can see that here. First play, we got 6 up top, baby. Let's go. The clock hits triple zeros in this one, and Dillon Gabriel gets his 2nd Super Bowl win and his 3rd Super Bowl appearance. He outplays Quinn Ewers to get the dub. And we have to start talking about Dillon Gabriel as one of the best quarterbacks of all time at this point. I'm just saying. Dillon Gabriel might not be in the playoffs every single year, but when he gets there, he usually makes a deep run. And when he makes a deep run, he's usually the best player on the field week in and week out. So in this game, Dillon Gabriel threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Quinn Ewers played extremely well also, but he did throw 1 interception. Quinn Ewers also had 50 yards on the ground. Dillon Gabriel had a touchdown on the ground. Through the air, Trayvon Foot, 6 for 135, 2 touchdowns. Malik Neighbors scored a touchdown on us. Marciano, 2 for 56 and a touchdown. Isaiah James, 3 for 63. Preparing for season number 10. Safe to say more than halfway done with his career. The offense is looking pretty good. The right guard position is still super duper duper trash, but it is what it is. Chris Cody in 84. Dowling is an 81. Gabriel is regressing a bit as a 92. Trayvon Foot is now the number 1 guy. Isaiah James still on the outside with Marciano in the slot. Solomon Murray is up to an 80 overall. And taking a look here where Dillon Gabriel ranks on quarterbacks all time. Right now, he's a top 10 quarterback behind Purdy, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Pat Mahomes. He could more than likely catch Brock Purdy this year if he wins, let's say, another MVP. But Brock Purdy has 6 yearly awards. Brock Purdy only has 1 championship, though. We have 3. We also have 2 Super Bowls to his none. Same thing here with Joe Burrow. He has no Super Bowls, a bunch of championships, but he's beating us in yearly awards. Aaron Rodgers, we've got him beating Super Bowls and championships, but he's killing us in awards. Jalen Hurts has 2 Super Bowls. Lamar has no Super Bowls, just all awards. Same thing here with Josh Allen, and we already know what's going on with Pat Mahomes. So in season number 10, 13-4 gets us a wild card slot. Dillon Gabriel was first in the league in passing yards, 3rd in touchdowns, 4,800 yards, 44 touchdowns, 7 picks, 76% completion percentage, 286 a game, 120 QBR. Dillon also gave us another 3 touchdowns on the ground. Through the air, 2,000-yard receivers, Isaiah James and Trayvon Foote. 9 touchdowns and 11 respectfully for those guys. Alani Dowling is finally getting a lot of looks at tight end. Looks like we're running some different sets to get him in there with Cody. 85 catches, 913 yards, 9 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns for Cody, 71 grabs, 857 yards. Marciano, 50 for 588, 7 touchdowns. Dillon Gabriel's just really spreading the wealth amongst his receivers. When it comes to league MVP, it goes to Morgan Zimmerman of the Cowboys. Dillon Gabriel finishes dead second. Offensive player of the year in the AFC goes to George Batch, who looks like a 1970s pimp. But the best quarterback in the AFC goes to Dillon Gabriel. So we're going to be taking on the 10-7 Jaguars here in this one. I don't think we need to jump into this playoff run just to see if they can get it done through straight sim. They bump off the Jags 17-14. Now it's time to take on the 11-6 Houston Texans. And they lose 24-21. CJ Stroud and Dillon Gabriel battled it out. Really trying to see how we lost this game. Well, getting shut out in the 4th quarter to do it. So season number 11, things look kind of different here. We lost one of our tight ends, but Dowling is ready to take on that major role. Isaiah James is now only a 78. Trayvon Foote is an 85. And Marciano is no longer with us. We're keeping the core of our O-line, though. I'm not mad at that. And Clemens is actually finally coming along. He's no longer in his 60s. He's a 73, which is pretty respectable. At the end of the season, we find ourselves 10-7, but just missing out on the playoffs. Not a bad year. Dillon Gabriel, 4,500 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 picks, 72% completion percentage, 265 a game, 108 QBR. On the ground, Gabriel had 3 touchdowns. Murray and Devon scored 13 touchdowns between the two. Alani Dowling, like I said, he was ready to come on and take over that big role at tight end. Led us in catches and yards, 115 for 1,300, 7 touchdowns. Isaiah James, 1 yard shy of 1,000 yards. He might have missed out on some incentive money there, so he probably pissed with Dillon Gabriel. 81 catches, 13 touchdowns. Trayvon Foote, 75 for 950 and a touchdown with 5 touchdowns. And then it looks like they picked up Tim Church out of free agency, 81 catches, 851 yards, 7 touchdowns. Season number 12, we're 88 overall, still a superstar X factor. All his accuracies are pretty much been the same for a while now. When it comes to the offense, left tackle is a face we're not used to seeing. So is right guard. Right tackle, new face, but still pretty solid. Collier and Bond are the only 2 remaining faces on this O-line, but looks like we drafted Webster. He is a hidden dev trait, so that's going to work in our favor. So in season 12, 10-7, this time it actually gets us in the playoffs. Dillon Gabriel, 2nd in the league in passing yards and touchdowns. 4,700 yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 picks, 70% completion percentage, 275 yards a game, 112 QBR. Solomon Murray, 11 touchdowns on the ground. Dillon Gabriel had his normal, 2 to 3. And through the air, we had 2,000-yard receivers, Heath Shorts, Alani Dowling, and we had 13 touchdowns for Jacoby Lindsey. He made the most of his 55 catches. Second MVP is proven to be ever so elusive for Dillon Gabriel. He loses to Gordon Hoskins, finishes 3rd, also behind Jalen Milroe. Top 5 in Offensive Player of the Year, and finishes 3rd behind Hoskins and Milroe for best quarterback. So the first 2 rounds of the playoffs are in the books. We knocked off the Titans 28-22. In the divisional round, we knock off the first-seeded Pittsburgh Steelers, who actually had the MVP. Get him out of here. Dillon Gabriel trying to extend the lead here. 5 minutes left in this ball game. 1 win away from the Super Bowl, trying to get to his 4th Super Bowl appearance. That way he can win his 3rd. And for whatever reason, man, when they have the buys, he can't get it done. But when they're a wild card team, this is when he plays his best in the postseason. A 3rd and 1 here. They want to try to punch this in the end zone. Being held at 3 is not a good thing. That is not a good look. You don't want to give the Dolphins too much of an opportunity, and he takes a bad sack. All right, boys, 121 left here, just on the other side of the 50. Dillon Gabriel back to pass. This is a big drive for the Browns here. Browns have to use their first timeout after that completion there across the 50. They really just need to get in the field goal range, but naturally you want to try to win. He goes over the middle, tough pitch and catch. Dillon Gabriel moving some things around here, brings his tight end in motion. He sends them back. They're back to pass. I expect a short pass over the middle. That's exactly what it is, first down. 41 seconds left here. Dillon Gabriel is nice and poised. I mean, he's a super veteran in this league at this point. Nothing is really going to rattle him or shake him. It's nothing that he hasn't seen. He hits his running back, and that's a first down. So the Browns use their third and final timeout after that completion. They are inside the red zone here. They got to be smart. Back to pass. Dolphins only send 4, and they're still going to get pressure. Gabriel moving out the pocket, going to his running back. Does he get out of bounds? He does. No, he does not. What are they doing? This is some piss poor clock management by the Browns. Dillon Gabriel is taking a shot towards the end zone. It is picked off. What? Why? Just bat it. Just spike it, clock it, and kick it. What is the issue? And that's how the Browns are going to lose here in the conference final. That is absolutely nutty. EA Sports for years and years and years have had piss poor clock management, and Jalen Milroe is headed to the Super Bowl. Actually was outplaying Jalen Milroe until he threw that pick, but that was just piss poor clock management. Nothing he could really do about that. On the ground, Solomon Murray scored a touchdown for us. Dowling 8 for 92. Lindsey 7 for 60 and a touchdown. Heath Shorts had a touchdown as well. Future USR here, sitting here editing this video. That clock management pissed me off so bad once again seeing it. And it was so bad that Dillon Gabriel and the Cleveland Browns decided to part ways after. So another season we come to the Browns roster and Dillon Gabriel is not here. We had to look all over the NFL, and then finally we find him here with the Philadelphia Eagles. Yuck as a Cowboys fan, but it's a part of the sim, and he's going to be their starter here as a 36-year-old veteran. Once a player leaves the team he's been with pretty much the whole entire sim, that's how you know things are coming to an end, so we have to be on the lookout for some retirement. Now taking a look at Dillon Gabriel's squad, man, he's an 85 overall. He's got an 84 overall wide receiver with an 81 and a 75 slot. He's got a superstar X Factor tight end who's only a 78 right now, but he's inheriting a pretty solid offensive line off the rip. And things did not go as planned here. 4-13 in what could be his final season in the NFL. But Dillon Gabriel wasn't bad. 4,600 yards, 37 touchdowns. He did throw 16 picks. Completion percentage is as low as it's been in a long time. Yards per game is pretty good. QBR under 100. He gave us another 3 tubs on the ground. Almost 3,000 yard receivers. 14 touchdowns, 11 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns, 91 grabs. I mean, Dillon Gabriel did what they brought him in here to do, but the rest of the team, something wasn't clicking. So another year, another new team for Dillon Gabriel. This year, he's a Minnesota Viking. This team is real good compared to what the Eagles were offering him. O-line is solid. Tight ends a 91. He's got an 87 overall running back. He has multiple 80 plus receivers. This is a team that could definitely get them back into the playoffs. So not as bad as 4-13, but 8-9 isn't going to get it done either. But Dillon Gabriel, first in the league in touchdown passes and yards, bro. 4,900 yards at 37 years old, 50 touchdowns. Did throw 17 picks, but he threw 50 touchdowns. 72% completion percentage, 293 a game, 114 QBR. He gave you another 3 on the ground. He had 4,000 yard receivers. He hasn't done this in a long time. Cam Charles, 96, 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns. 89 for 1,118, 8 touchdowns for Gore. Oliver, 87 for 1,075 and 7 touchdowns. Paul Meyer, 96 for 1,037, 13 touchdowns. I know they didn't win, bro, but that's MVP numbers, but it's not going to get it to them because they didn't win. So we got old man Dillon here at 38 years old, heading into season number 15, coming off of his league-leading season. Had they made the playoffs, he would have easily won the MVP. It's time to run it back to see if he can get the Vikings into the playoffs. All right, boys, so Operation Run It Back with the Vikings does work. 11-6, that's going to get them in the wild card. Dillon Gabriel this year, instead of being first and first, he's fourth and fourth. 4,600 yards, 44 touchdowns, 10 picks, 73% completion percentage. On the ground, he's an old man now, just 1 touchdown. Through the air, 3,000 yard receivers. double-digit touchdowns for all three, 200 reception receivers as well. I mean, slinging the thing all around the field. Even with that performance, top 5 finish for the MVP. They don't want to show the young man any love, man. Offensive Player of the Year, he's going to finish even lower than that at number 8. And Best Quarterback, he's going to finish at number 4. Game 1 in the books, 21-19 versus our division rival, the Chicago Bears. Dillon Gabriel, 237, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Game number 2, Dillon Gabriel turned back the clock a bit. 429 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. He even ran for a touchdown on the ground today. Meyer, 9 for 136. Irvin, 11 for 130 and a touchdown for Oliver, 8 for 92, a touchdown for Ben Barnes, 4 for 51. Boys, and the old man Dillon Gabriel gets it done in the conference championship. He is headed back to the Super Bowl for the first time in a long time. Who would have thought? They wrote him off. The Browns wanted nothing else to do with him. He stunk it up with Philly the first year. They saw potential in him after his bounce back year with the Vikings. Vikings brought him back in, 3 touchdowns, 328 yards, 79% completion percentage, and they're going to a bowl, baby. And who would have thought we'd have seen this matchup? We got 11-6 taking on the 8-9 Raiders. And Dillon Gabriel gets it done at the ripe old age of 38 or 39, depending on when the birthday is. He gets it done this time for the NFC for his 3rd Super Bowl trophy. Take a look at all the reporters around Dillon Gabriel. Safe to say that he's going to have his 3rd Super Bowl MVP. I mean, what a career. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, they threw him away out in Cleveland. They say, you're not worth the money no more. You old, get out of here. And he had a rough 2 journey years. But then the Vikings believed in him and he got it done. So there it is, set in stone. Dillon Gabriel, 2039 Super Bowl MVP. Not only did he give the Browns their first ever franchise Super Bowl, he did the same for the Vikings. So here in season number 16, look at all the notable quarterbacks that were in the same draft as Dillon Gabriel that are free agents. Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers, and yes, even Dillon Gabriel here at 39 years old. Milroe and Ewers probably could still start on an NFL roster, but at this point, Dillon Gabriel just doesn't have it. His regression is like down in the dumps. He is 2 years older than him. You know, Madden is super harsh on age and not on performance. I feel like performance should drive what regression and digression we actually see, but it is what it is. So these 3 you could probably expect to not see on any NFL roster. So I had to go ahead and sign Dillon Gabriel back to the Vikings just so I could look at his career stats. 67,000 yards, 571 touchdowns, 172 picks, 71% completion percentage. 71% completion percentage, 264 yards a game, 109 QBR. 92 was his longest of his career, 255 games played. Okay, boys, so you see it here. It's official. I'm walking away. It's been a great run. Dillon Gabriel officially retiring from the NFL. So we already went over stats. We already went over where he's going to finish. It doesn't change because he didn't get any more stats. He's going to be here at number 4 for a while because Hurts, Ewers, Rodgers, Wayne, Purdy, they're all done playing. Zimmerman, his career is winding down. Hoskins as well. I don't see them catching Dillon Gabriel at all. So he doesn't break any NFL passing career records. He doesn't break any NFL passing season records. He doesn't break any NFL passing game records. He doesn't break NFL rookie records. He doesn't break NFL rookie game records. When you come to the Browns, he has the Browns career passing yards record. He has the Browns career passing touchdowns record. He has the Browns season record for passing yards. He has the Browns season record for passing touchdowns, 5,053. He doesn't have the Browns game record. He doesn't have the Browns rookie record. He doesn't have the Browns rookie game record. And even though it was only 1 season that he played with the Eagles, he has their season record for passing yards in a season. And same thing here with the Vikings. Although he might be immortalized because he got them their only Super Bowl, but he has the season record for passing yards in the season at almost 5,000 and passing touchdowns in the season at 50. Dillon Gabriel's official accolades include 4 Pro Bowl appearances, led the league in passer rating once, 2030 MVP, 2030 best quarterback, and the 2034 best quarterback. Outside of winning more MVPs and more individual awards, I don't see how a career could get any better than this. You guys let me know down in the comment section below if you think this career was a success or not, but I think any career as a quarterback where you win 3 out of 4 Super Bowls that you played in sounds like a success to me. If you want to see a video where I did this exact same sim with Shedeur Sanders, click right here. And if you want to see a video where I have just 5 seasons to rebuild the worst team in the SEC, click right here. And for those of you that stuck around this whole entire time to watch this video, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notice, and let me know down below which player you want to see next.